Well, fellas, this is the oldest fifth gen we have in the fleet. I keep walking up and down that sidewalk, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a video, right? Because I always talk about how fifth gen's been a rough ride for me. And this thing's going to take off next week, and probably not going to get that opportunity, so here we go. This is not so much about the mileage, just the life of this truck. I've noticed a lot of you guys are curious how these trucks evolve and all the issues I encounter. I think this thing's closer to 400. This is the oldest fifth gen I have in the fleet, but it's not the highest mileage. Lately, this truck's been kind of around town truck. And what I mean by around town, it's not. Oh, there you go. 389, 726. So call it 390. Just under 400,000. So in this video, I want to talk about the little battle scores it has, how I acquired it, and the little battles we had during the ownership. So a lot of these fifth gens get bad press. And I'm the first guy to say I got my butt handed to me with the 22s, and I seized all purchases. No more buying these trucks for now. But this is a 19, a little dirty, a little bruised up. Overall, this truck's not in bad shape for 400,000. Early in its life, it was involved in a hit and run in Seattle. It was during the pandemic in 2020. I couldn't get my hands on anything, so we I was literally going to say stitched, but literally stitched this thing together. At the time, all I had to buy was a headlight and a fender, but obviously I couldn't get my hands on a fender. So we had all the rest of the parts in the container. So we put what we had and we rolled with it, and ever since it's been rolling with that. So that's that battle scar. Won't get under the hood. Obviously that's with mileage and poor job of installing chains. You'll see battle scars, and that's the worst part of it. Yeah, older gentleman was instructed twice by a seasoned driver. So the guy instructing is a seasoned driver, and the guy operating was an older gentleman, and somehow some information got missed, and the chain was never installed right. This is not the worst. I had a customer that got his truck towed in. The driver did such a poor job, and the chain was so loose it busted up the fuel tank. Now imagine how hard that chain was fitting the suspension. So it could always be worse. I don't know how you could be going down the road and, you know, whack whack whack, banging up your equipment and just keep trucking. But this is actually, I don't know if I ever showed you the sleeper. This is a legal sleeper. This is the only setup I have for teams. No, Hotshot and teams don't go together, but I had several cases where husband and wife wanted to drive, so we always kept this kit in that truck. It made it 100% legal for them to operate the way they needed to operate. Under the hood, it's an Aisin. Oh, missing a battery. For some reason, this tank cracked early in its life, so it has a new coolant tank. And I want to say that guy right there, where is it? That pump right there is a CP3. So early in its life, this thing was involved with, or this thing was plagued with a CP4. And I decided to make the decision of putting a CP3. It was an option. It was a very strategic, and it was definitely the right thing to do, because some of these grenaded in it really put a dent in the owner's pocket with these CP4s, because once the CP4 grenades, it takes out the rest of this thing. Pandemic, no parts, it's a dead end. You're screwed. So it's a good way to file bankruptcy, even though you have warranty. So do whatever you can to stay out of those shops and to keep things rolling. I paid a premium. I think I paid $3,500. Kept cruising with a CP4 or CP4 to CP3 conversion, guys, for a 19. Look at this interior. Original seat, original miles. I think I showed you the miles. Showed you the miles, right? Just under 390,000 miles on it. No issues. Out of my fifth gens, this one probably runs the best. Yeah, like, I wish I could tell you some crazy story. That's it. This ain't no 22 story for sure. I mean, I couldn't be happier with it. There's no signs of that tinging, that hydraulic lifter going to crap wiping out the cam, push rods, and rockers. So knock on wood and everything you believe in, but I'm very happy with this truck. This truck's been a blessing to us. It's about to go in the shop to get some work done to it. The emissions system is tired on it. So some boys nearby sold us really low mileage emission system for obvious reasons. So yeah, that's what this thing needs. And I mean, it did better than I thought it would. So 390. So there it is. So at 390, it's getting, I think it's just getting the canisters swapped out on it. Oh, yes, and the EGR cooler too. Oh, no, this thing actually has a manifold. This is my second 5th gen, guys. 4th gens are really known for manifolds. 5th gens, not so much. The intercooler system is solid, but the manifold's warped. It's actually cracked. So this thing's getting EGR cooler. It's getting EGR cooler because it's, you know, every 150,000 preventative maintenance. So the manifold's getting replaced in the gaskets, and the canisters getting replaced. So we highway guys got the best chance at running these things as high mileage as possible. You know, they get up to temp and they just cruise all day. So far so good. Overall, cosmetically, we haven't changed anything on this thing besides the bumper and the headlight during the early stages of its life. Everything else is OEM on this thing, as you could tell from the battle score there. What's going on with this camera? There you go. So yeah, for the curious ones, these 5th gens do well. They all tend to be the 19s and 20s. I actually have a 20 one of these days. I'll catch it. It has quite a bit of miles, and it has a lazy lifter. So when you cold start it, just one cylinder is just clacketing away for the first 10-15 seconds. And then it comes to its senses. Good fuel economy, good power, and no issue. I think that's truck 70. Yeah, it's still clacking away. It's still healthy. No shavings in the filter. So I just keep pushing it. It's not getting worse. It's not getting better. I've tried a few additives. Certain additives do better than others, but overall, it is what it is, and you get what you get. I'm waiting for a driver to pull up. We had a really weird incident today on one of our trucks. The tires grenaded, and it freaking took out the fender, the lining, and I'm just thankful to God the wiring didn't get caught up in the mix and didn't tear up the wiring. It ripped it from its spot, but the wiring's a little beat up, but it's still communicative, meaning the truck still runs. So I'll try to do a video of that if I catch it here before I leave, but I am kind of waiting on it, so hopefully I don't run out of patience. Alrighty, fellas, on these high mileage trucks, I know you new guys to this channel will be like, well, geez, this is not very helpful. What'd you do? What oils? What mileage? Guys, I have so many of those videos, and right now I'm doing a series, how to keep your trucks alive at high mileage. I think that truck is like 600 miles, 600,000. That one's the charcoal one, 400,000, and that white one hiding back there, it's, I think about 500,000. So these trucks definitely run, and I mean they run for a while. We have customers out here. Let me see if he's still here. You know, really high mileage. Oh, that guy right there. See that mega cab? That guy freaking pulls a heavy backhoe. He owes an excavation company. That's all he does. He just drives the piss out of that truck. And yeah, alrighty, fellas. As always, may the Lord bless you, and may Almighty find day and let me know what else you guys want to hear about these high mileage. I mean, they're quite the treat. It's nice to have your savings, but it's just, there's something about seeing a high mileage truck, you know, and still in form. Yes, you got to keep up with it. Yes, it gets expensive, you know, a little bit of after treatment, manifold, gaskets. You know, after treatment is pretty easy. It's just costly. But the manifolds, I mean, it's such a pain of a job. I hate it because my guys have to be in there for so long, and it's just it's one of them tough jobs, you know. Anyways, fellas, God bless you. Bye.